Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a project that was delivered on time, on budget, but still didn't deliver any real value? The key question is, how do you know if you've been working on the right project? How do you know you've got the right solution? These are the real key questions, because too often we find ourselves pushing projects that aren't ready, running full speed ahead with no clarity, no alignment, and no real strategy. Sometimes we get all the way to execution only to discover we picked the wrong solution. Do you know what I'm talking about? Look, we are in a world where resources are tight and time is short. It's more important than ever to make sure we're developing the right projects the right way before we move into execution. That's what front-end loading is all about. It's about slowing down at the start so you can go faster later on. It's about aligning your team, your scope, and your decisions up front. And it's exactly what this course will help you master. Look, what do you actually learn to prevent bad projects? Not at university. PMI doesn't really teach this either. And there is no one place to go and learn how capital project governance really works, or where you can ask questions, connect with experts, and get support when you need it most. Most of us, we learn the hard way, on the job. If you're lucky, maybe at Chevron, Shell, Woodside, or Exxon. That was me. I learned it in Australia, working for Woodside. At that time, we had a full governance team. Facilitators, coaches, reviewers. My job was to train people, advise on projects, and run framing workshops. And I loved this. We help teams make better decisions, reduce risk, and actually deliver. Now, I live in the USA and I work with all kinds of decision makers across oil and gas, renewables, mining, and infrastructure, mostly facilitating framing, strategy, and alignment sessions. And I've seen the same thing over and over again. Super smart people doing important work, but without the right structure to support them. They are making big decisions, prepping for the gate reviews, dealing with contractors, misalignment, unclear scope, change, rework, and it's not their fault. No one actually gave them the playbook. Every big company might have its own playbook, its own version of the process. Different names, maybe different templates, but the principles are always the same. If you understand how decision gate process works or the stage gate process, you can walk into any capital project and you know how to break it down into stages and gates. You know how to plan the right work first. You know how to plan and lead assurance reviews. You know about opportunity framing workshops, and you know how to conduct lessons learned session. Because here is the truth. Projects don't fail in execution. They fail in definition. We call it the first 10%, that critical early stage where everything is decided. And according to IPA's 2025 study, project definition quality, the FEL, has been declining over the last 5 years. And yes, front-end loading gets a bad name. People think it's just a paperwork. But guess what? When done right, it's the most valuable part of your project. Poor FEL equals weak alignment, unclear scope, massive rework, and blown budget. So, again, what is the decision gate process? It's a simple and powerful structure that guides your project from an idea through to concept development and execution through clear stages and gates. Value is created early in the life cycle, in the assess, concept, and develop phases, and then locked in. Once you enter execution, it's often too late to correct poor upstream decisions. At each stage, the process uses key tools to drive alignment and readiness, such as framing and kickoff sessions, defined activities and deliverables, risk assessment, assurance reviews, and structured preparation for the gate. These steps aren't just best practice, they form the backbone of your governance process. This is a governance tool, one that helps you move the right projects forward and stop the ones that shouldn't be there at all, those that don't add any value. So you only go through the gate when you are ready. And the tools inside the stage, they help you to get there. So we built this course, Mastering the Decision Gate Process. This course is designed for project managers who want less chaos and more control, executives who want confidence in investment decisions, development planners and PMO who want consistent approach to project development, contractors who want to align with clients' governance, and anyone who wants to grow into a leadership role on capital project. So here is what you get. Module 1, why projects fail and how to fix them. In this module, we explore the root causes of failure, the ones most people don't talk about. We will show you how they often trace back to poor early stage definition and lack of alignment. You will learn the difference between being deliverables driven versus decision driven, a shift that changes everything. Think of it this way. Before you engage an architect to build your family home, you should probably know how many bedrooms you want, or if even the whole family wants the house. We train you and your team to think like that in milestones and critical decisions. Module 2, breaking down projects with the stage gate process. We're going to walk you through the full process. You will learn how to break your project into stages and gates and how to apply the right level of effort using categorization and scalability principles. We'll talk about who does what, who is involved in the entire process, and how to avoid common implementation mistakes that can derail even good system. Module 3, making smart decisions with confidence. This is where we deep dive into the role of decisions, what decision making is about, what's the role of decision review board. We also cover the commonly occurring biases in decisions, what they are, how they impact projects, and what to do to minimize the impact of occurring. Module 4, risk and assurance. This is when we demystify the assurance. You will learn how to plan and lead risk-based assurance reviews, and also how assurance and risk come together to form strong governance process. And all about opportunity framing workshops. We will introduce our signature framework, the PATH framework, which is simple, very powerful, and tested already. We'll share with you what it is, how it is structured, why framing is crucial for capital projects, and walk you through each tool and how to use them. We also have 2 bonus sessions, how to lead lessons learned workshops and foundational skills in framing, tips and tools for facilitating any powerful session. So let me quickly share why this topic matters to me. Years ago, I was working in quality assurance on massive oil and gas jobs. I had a great title. I was even featured in industry magazines. So on paper, I was doing great. I was looking good. But nothing I was actually writing in my reports was changing the projects. People weren't aligned and decisions were still rushed. Quality was treated more as a checkbox as opposed to a strategy. So I left. I left the country. I left the industry. I moved to Australia and I started fresh. That's when I discovered the opportunity framing workshops and the stage gate process. And I saw what was possible when the team gets clear before they start planning. Now I help leaders around the world set up their projects for success from the idea stage. And I believe this course isn't just for project managers. It's for all QA professionals. All QA professionals should do this course and should get involved in framing workshops, because quality starts way before execution. It starts with clarity at the idea stage. Our growing number of experts, who are all listed on our website, have decades of experiences in capital projects. They worked on huge oil and gas developments, mines, solar farms. We've taken years of experiences, compressed it into a practical, easy to follow course, and made it something you can apply on your next project. But honestly, the course alone is just the beginning. You also get access to the Expert Hub, our private community. Inside, you can post a question and get answers from real experts. You can book a 1-hour coaching when you're stuck and you need advice when you're prepping for a review. You can join weekly and monthly live calls. You can hear real stories from real people, from real projects, not just theory. And you don't have to figure this out on your own anymore. This is about modern governance frameworks. It's about fewer late nights, decisions that stick, alignment that lasts, and the confidence to lead from the front. And every week, your team stays misaligned. Your project starts without a proper framing. That's more risk on your plate. You don't have to keep learning the hard way. Join Mastering the Decision Gate process today. This is an on-demand access to education, expert support, and discussions about developing the right projects right. Be the leader who brings clarity when others bring noise. Be the leader who frames the right projects right, asks the right questions, and makes the first 10% count. So let's build projects that succeed from the start. Click on the button below and I will see you inside.